Hi guys, welcome to ArtCenter. My name is Chris Doe. I graduated ArtCenter in graphic design in 1995. Welcome to our studio. We're here in Santa Monica at 1702 Olympic. And there are actually two companies here. One is called Blind, and that's our service company where we do brand strategy, motion graphic design, creative stuff you learn in school. The other company is called TheFutur, and that's more of our media entertainment education platform where we have channels on YouTube, on podcasting, we post things on Instagram, SlideShare, everywhere else. So welcome to Space. I'm going to give you a tour today and maybe field some questions. So comment. I think Matt's going to monitor that, so if there's a really good question, we'll try our best to answer it, and we're going to give you a tour. This is unedited, this is live, so weird things can happen. Come on in, guys. This is the reception area, and first off in the reception area, this beautiful thing that I've coveted for many years. It's called the Vitra Alcove, and this is a great space for people to sit and think. This kind of upholstered wall really helps with acoustics, and you can just sit down. Some of my creative directors, they just hide out in here when they're writing treatments. The real brain stuff, you don't want anybody to bother you. You just sit in here, and that's when I'll catch them sitting in here. But come on in. You can see a lot of kind of really beautiful modern furniture here from the Mies van der Rohe Barcelona daybed and the chair. Definitely, if you see that, you've recognized that from our ArtCenter's library, where I've spent many hours, and so therefore I had to buy it myself. This is our conference room. We're not going to spend too much time in here, but just come on in a little bit and take a look around. The walls are treated with acoustical materials. It's one of the reasons my business coach told me when we're on a conference call, the sound quality of your voice matters a lot on whether or not people can connect to you. And if you sound distant and in a tin can, you're not going to build that rapport that you want. So we then went in, changed all the acoustical materials. That little green wall, which my wife designed, also an ArtCenter grad, we've called Central Park. That has acoustical properties. There's acoustical foam behind it, and then the green moss on top is just for decoration.
I love it.
So this is all about us, and then we have, of course, the ubiquitous Polycom conference thing, and the whiteboard for writing down notes and things like that. So this is the conference room.
Cool.
Let's continue the tour. Coming through here, we've done some remodeling. The space is in transition, and the reason why it's in transition is because we're a company that's in transition. You're going to see artwork up on the wall, you can see it on the floors, you'll see things move around. It is a little bit messy, but that's okay. I'd rather worry about creating ideas and trying new things and making the space perfect. I've let that part of my personality go. So to my left here, your right, is our kitchen, and if we sweep by here, we recently punched a hole in the wall here to kind of create this bar atmosphere. This is where the designers, the freelancers, producers would sit, have lunch, they cook, a lot of them cook, and play video games. We do whatever we do. So the way that part of my management philosophy is just let the people do what they need to do and give them the space and the tools to do that and get out of their way. And that's what I try to do, is I get out of their way. Over here, you're going to see some equipment because we also do a fair share of broadcasting our own Facebook Live stuff, and we're preparing for a workshop this Saturday. So we'll come back to this room, but I'm going to give you guys a peek into my office, the dungeon. It's not really a dungeon. Watch your step there. This is my office, and you can see in here, I'm inspired by lots of things, but the first thing you'll notice is what's all this audio gear, because we also do podcasting, and that's something that we're kind of experimenting with right now. So it's a full-on media company. If you guys have questions about the business model, what we do, what kind of content we talk about, just ask in the comments. You can see the acoustical treatment up there. But I'm inspired by books, ideas, people, and you can see lots of toys and art in this room. I have a whole cabinet here, which is just a small glimpse of my vast toy collection, much to the chagrin of my wife. So I put these things out. And you can see I collect lots of little vinyl things. I'm a kid, and you'll see skateboards up on top. My Star Wars collection that's growing. I made some killer scores this Christmas, and my pop vinyl, the whiteboard, we're doing that workshop I mentioned. And this is my space, and you're going to see a lot of Cleon Peterson's work here too. I'm a big fan of Cleon. He's an ArtCenter guy. Coming around, yes.
Can you tell us a little bit about what the awards are for and some of what your work in the first part of your career was about?
That's a great question. The awards here are a variety of advertising, typography, and design awards from Communication Arts, ID Magazine when they were still around. I remember we had won so many awards, but the one award we could not win was ID. And we finally got it. I'm like, okay, let me just cut the cover and frame it and put it in there. And now they're gone, so it's like nobody even knows who they are anymore. You can see it's fading a little bit. But it's just a bunch of awards.
But what kind of work would...
what kind of work?
Yeah,
okay.
So what's the...
Most of that work was won for motion design work, which is really what we built the company blind around. I graduated in graphic design, but I saw an opportunity in the emerging motion design world, and that's what we jumped into. So we did a lot of commercials, music videos, and so you can see right here the frames here. That's a TV spot for an anti-smoking campaign called Cessation, and that was a really fast turnaround project. So we got to shoot a lot of the typography in camera and very little motion graphics on that project. The dog is actually the dog that's in the shot. It was a composite, no green screen, but the other awards, probably for music videos, we tend to do better with music videos because it celebrates the art and design of music.
So what are some of the music videos you're most proud of?
Okay, the ones that you're probably going to recognize is first really big one that we did was for Gnarls Barkley, the Crazy music video. That's when CeeLo wasn't even like CeeLo, like people weren't aware of him because he was a coach on The Voice. We've done music videos for Jet, the band, the Australian band. Are You Gonna Be My Girl? And Look What You've Done. I think we've done 3 videos for them, or maybe 2, I can't remember. We've done a video for Coldplay, but that's newer work. That's not reflected in the awards here. We did one for a cinematic orchestra for, I'm blanking right now. I'll remember, but some really cool artists and bands. Yeah, we recently did 2 interactive music videos. One was for Coldplay, and the other one was for a kind of rediscovered track from Jeff Buckley.
What can you tell us about what it means to do an interactive video?
Okay, so a traditional music video, you sit there, you watch, you have a singular linear experience. Interactive music videos can be defined in any which way, but it's a nonlinear process. So you can change and affect the outcome of the video itself. So the simplest metaphor I can make for you guys is to think of a choose your own adventure book where you can flip through and find different endings. So the Coldplay video is like that. The Jeff Buckley video was, if you touch parts of the screen, it's like a window into different worlds. So you're changing the worlds as you watch it. And so everybody can have a completely different experience, depending on your mood, your preferences, and the decisions that you make.
Got a question online from Heike Arg, and they want to know about the paintings or the drawings behind you.
Yes.
What are those, and who made them?
Okay, this one in particular, this is by, I think he's from Chicago. His name is Chris Ware. And Chris Ware is a graphic designer / illustrator, and he is insane, and like I wish I had his talent. He designs his panels almost like graphic design pieces, and does all the typography and the lettering. And he's a force of nature. He's been featured on This American Life and other places. But I'm a comic book nerd. You can't see it, but there are books behind me, like comic books, like up the wazoo. I have thousands of comics that you don't see here, but they're everywhere. I have original pieces of art, so if you pan over there, you can see here, maybe somebody was talking about these drawings too. I go to Comic-Con almost every single year, and these are original inked pages. That's from Wonder Woman.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so these cost me a little bit of money. This was a limited edition print from the colorist from Hellboy, Mike Mignola. And ArtCenter graduate there. I think I'm her first customer, or whatever. I bought the painting from her. And so you can see art all around. So I get to know artists, and I'm really inspired by all that stuff. I owe a debt of my career to comic books. And I've learned so much from looking at comic books. So I hope that answered that question. Should we move on?
Sure.
Okay. Now this room, I'm a little reluctant to show you, but it's part of who we are. Piece of foam here. Back there. So you can see there's a lot of exercise equipment. This is not for show. You don't see like a layer of dust on this just because we actually use this gear. Being fit and being active is a big part of our culture. It wasn't always, because this is not like me like forever. This is me like the last 6 years. And we try to incorporate that into what we do here. So like we'll do pull-ups here, chin-ups, leg lifts. There's the bench here. A lot of it is body weight exercises. Yesterday we knocked out 150 push-ups, did a couple of pull-ups. That's what we do.
Together? Like
as a group? Yeah. So one thing that we have here that's part of our culture is at 5 o'clock, I ask everybody to get out of their chair and go do something. Talk to somebody, just get out of your desk. You're not allowed to work. So some people will hang out and play video games. That's cool. Some people play ping pong. Some of us will work out. And that's what we try to do. We try to like recruit people to be a little bit more active.
How does that help what you do here?
I don't know if there's a direct correlation between exercise and creativity, but I notice just for myself, when I exercise, I feel better, I have more energy, and I'm more focused, and it also reminds me that I have some control over my life, and it just helps with my happiness overall. Okay? And this wall slides. So behind here is a dry erase board, and this is a multi-use room. So sometimes we have meetings here, so the tables reconfigure into a conference room so they can all lock together. It's getting prepared for a workshop on Saturday, but sometimes it's our stage where we shoot our show. And you can see there's a lighting grid. We've hung up the china balls. We come over here a little bit. So it gets reorganized however we want to use it. And it wasn't always the way. This is something that we have decided to do as our company continues to evolve into a media company. I want to make this space as photogenic and as ready to shoot at any time. So there's lots of equipment here. We'll talk about that a little bit later if you guys are curious.
Well, could you tell us why and how you see your company evolving into a media company?
Sure. So the two companies I mentioned earlier, The Futur and Blind, are two very separate companies. One is service, one is content oriented. One works for people, one works for ourselves. And we're starting to see that the two crossing over a little bit. So we create educational content. We try to be entertaining and to be kind of unique in the world in creating a platform where creatives can learn the business skills. That's something that I've worked on a lot in my life. And so that's what we share. So now we're discovering clients are looking at the YouTube videos, which I didn't expect them ever to do, and calling us to hiring us to doing branding work. So that's how it bleeds over there. And on the flip side, we're shooting content that we're making on Blind and using it on the YouTube channel. A little bit of crossover. So my dream world is these two worlds collide in a very beautiful and elegant way. And I think that's the future for us. So we're getting sponsors, we're onboarding clients, we're establishing ourselves as experts in a particular field. And it's getting visibility for us.
So you're approaching your media company like a design challenge? Is that sort of what?
Yeah. So if you look over here, you can see lots of post-it notes. I don't know what one looks like, but if you imagine us in the writer's room for like the Late Show or something like that, I imagine them putting up bits or guests that they want to have in different stages of planning. So we have planning, announcing, record, and edit. We have different guests we want to speak to. So if you know somebody in here, you want to help us connect us, we want to do it. So it's just kind of a wish list. We're calling it the ice bucket. And that's how we break it down. So you can see we have different products we're making, content for the show that we need to shoot or edit. And there's a digital version of this that exists on Trello, but you know, when we're working like this, we want to be fast. We're just doing it in an analog way.
Cool.
Okay. So you come by here. There's a couple of awards here. We have a lot of awards. We've won a lot of awards, and for some part of my career, I thought this was really important. Like it meant validating who I was, and it was just like something to scratch off a list. And I thought, you win an award, your life's going to change. Let me just tell you something. You win an award, your life is exactly the same. And we have tons and tons of awards, and my life is exactly the same. So, just letting you know. You look really sad all of a sudden. Are you okay? You know, sometimes I just want the award because I want the piece of hardware, just to say, yeah, I got that. You can't stop me. Right. We're gonna do it. So we actually have 2 Emmys. This is for art direction and design. This is one of them. Vanessa Marzaroli has the other one, also an ArtCenter alum. We have several Clios. This is 2 of them. There's a couple more hanging around the office somewhere, and a bunch of broadcast design awards, tele awards, advertising awards, art director pencils, film festivals. You just name it. And I find out, and I hope I'm not offending anybody, or maybe I will just offend everybody at the same time. I've judged shows too, and when you do good work, it stands out. So if you do good work and you enter, you're gonna win. Because when you see the hundreds of entries that I've seen, it's like, okay, thank God somebody's doing good work somewhere, and you just want to give them the awards.
Got a question from James Hilato. He wants to know what made you start the Futur YouTube channel.
Okay, the reason why we started the Futur channel, I can't take any of the credit, is actually Jose Caballer's idea. Back then it was called The School. And he wanted us to just get on camera and create content. And originally it was designed as marketing for us. We wanted to let people become aware of our process, how we facilitate our product around core. But as everything, you know, it evolves, and now we just try to share as much content as possible to help people level up. And what really makes my day every single day is getting the direct messages on Facebook, on Twitter, on Instagram, on LinkedIn, saying to me how much of a difference we've made in their lives. And that, to me, is just the fuel that'll keep me going forever. Like every morning I wake up, I have a smile, I'm looking forward to going through my messages and just seeing that. And they're like saying, it's almost always the same, you don't know how much you've helped me. I've grown so much, I can't tell you how much I appreciate what you're doing.
So
and
it's
that,
more rewarding than
that is worth, well, I'll take one of those over any of these. To me, that's like making a difference in somebody's life. That really is what I'm about. So if I look at my life and my career in different arcs, I'm on that last arc, I think. This is my last career, this is it. Right, so I don't want to work anymore, this is what I work for.
Diana followed up with a question, wants to know if you and Jose work together here at Blind.
Oh, we have in the past, we don't currently. Jose's in Canada. He's doing some cool things in Canada right now, and he's kind of like a free-spirited person that doesn't want to be anchored to anything. So we've worked together on several projects, one of which is for Trojan, and I can't remember, but he's helped us out, and I've helped him out, so that's how we do it. So we crossed paths. So there's a Jose Cavallo fan right there.
Cool.
All right, cool. We'll walk right past here, you guys. Things are in transition. This is where my producers sit, so there's two producers, but right now it's just Daisy in the back. This is the edit bay, and the edit bays we don't use as much anymore. That's why it's like storage overflow for expensive furniture. That's all it really is. There's some beautiful pencils that ArtCenter person made for me. Some Shepherd Ferry art that I bought for 25 bucks, you guys. I literally bought this from Shepherd Studio before he did the Obama Hope poster.
Genius.
So I've had these for like over 10 years. And for a while, like, oh, I'm getting tired of these. And I remember some young students came here on a tour and they said, Chris, what are you doing with those? I don't know. It's like, have you seen how much they're worth on eBay now? They're worth thousands of dollars. So whatever, right? That's John. He's editing an episode for a show that you'll be seeing really soon.
Hey, John.
Okay, so here's our team. Our team is here, and the team can grow. And there's several staff. There are several staff designers here, and there's a bunch of freelancers. So you'll see a lot more desks and computers than there are people. When we're doing a lot of production work, commercials especially, these things will fill out. Like every seat will be taken, and that's what that is. But right now, it's just mostly our core team. So we have a bunch of ArtCenter people here. They're working on a variety of branding projects. I think the big project we're working on is for Anime Expo. We're an agency of record for the SPGA, and so we're doing lots of things like booth designs. We're doing programming guides, website, and so this is the whole team. You guys want to? Don't give us the cold shoulder. Come on, you guys. You guys want to wave or anything? So why don't you introduce yourself?
Yeah.
Here, and you speak in your native tongue. Rachel. Hey, welcome to the show.
Hi, I'm Rachel.
Okay, well let's try. Min will do a much better job. Min, your turn. Min, come over here.
What?
Min, this is Facebook Live.
Oh my god. I mean.
Yaboseo. Emily.
Hi, 안녕하세요.
That's not your language. She's actually from
Emily.
China.
Yeah.
These are all ArtCenter graphic designers. This is an ArtCenter person as well, but he's not staff. He's just freelancing for us. Your background is in illustration.
Yeah, illustration and graphics. So.
You want to introduce yourself to the people?
Sure, I'm Calvin. I don't know, I've been freelancing here for like 6 years. I do a lot of illustration and character animation.
And you bounce around everywhere, right? You're a man in demand.
I bounce around all over the place.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So your life after ArtCenter has been pretty good?
And it's been amazing. Yeah, every year has gotten like progressively better and more crazy opportunities have like come up, and I've been traveling a lot for work, which has been really cool.
Nice.
So yeah. it's been
When did you
awesome.
graduate?
Summer of 2011. So it's been a while.
All right.
I feel old.
Yeah, he said 6 years, right? 6 years?
Yeah.
So come on, you want to say hello to people? I'm all sweaty now, guys.
I am
This
saying,
live thing's killing me.
I've been working here for 4 years now, after graduating ArtCenter as well.
And Sang was a former student of mine, as was Emily. Min was not, I don't know her. Rachel was as well. So former students here. Calvin, you weren't a student of mine, were you?
I was in your class, but not officially, because
Like-
I worked on the project with June and Kenny.
Like that was an independent study or something, or no?
Yeah, it was like it was your guys' class. I forget which specific one, but
I remember.
I jumped on the project because like Kenny asked me if I wanted to animate on it. So but I was never like in your class. I came for like a couple critiques and stuff.
So Sang was a former student, former intern, now staff designer, and he's doing some cool stuff with web, right, Sang?
Yeah.
He's looking all technical, like typing this stuff in. Stop pretending you're messaging some girl in Korea. Let's get real. Jamie, I don't know what she vampired out of here. But our creative directors are in the offices here, so this is probably a good opportunity to scan some of the work that we're talking about, right? So over here, you can see the workstations are kind of capped off with these things. This is the Jeff Buckley video. Whoops, let's get that away. The Jeff Buckley video we were talking about. So the way that works is the camera kind of moves through the story, and it kind of continues on. So if you click on one of these windows, sometimes it's just the color changes, and sometimes what is happening totally changes. So here's a reference point here. You can see here she's just kind of walking out by herself, and here I think she's happily walking out with somebody, I'm not sure. And then each time you click on it, and in this one, they're not so happy anymore. So you can change everything on the screen.
Wow.
It's a lot of work. It's basically making 5 music videos into one.
It's amazing.
Yeah, and it's a lot of work.
Was this your idea? Or
No, that's Greg's idea. He's in there, but he's not in there right now.
Okay.
Yeah. Mostly, the studio is run by 2 creative directors, and now recently a 3rd. So Matthew and Greg run all the digital, all the motion projects, and Ben runs the digital projects now. Ben's a recent hire. So you can see on the wall here, there's a lot of web work now. We do a lot of brand strategy. We write copy. We design the interfaces. So this is for the blind site itself, and there's some client work down there. Oh, here's some other stuff here. Is Greg in here? For some reason, everybody's like disappeared. The cameras come out and just people run. That's just usually how it works. But anyways, here's some Nat Geo work. This is designed by Greg and directed by Greg.
Cool.
So these are promos for National Geographic. So Matt's here. I hear Matt. Matt's not hiding. Why don't we stick our head in? So Matt's one of our creative directors. Matthew,
hey,
why don't you introduce yourself, man?
What's going on?
We're doing Facebook Live.
Oh, okay. Hey, what's up? Matthew Encino, creative director here at Blind. Been here for about 6 years as staff. Freelanced around quite a bit. I was Chris's student back in 2006, so.
And you told me you've been a student like 3 times, right?
Yeah, I took his class 3 times because it was my favorite class, so I took it over and over and got a lot of value out of it. But yeah, I graduated ArtCenter in 2007. After that, I started my own company with a bunch of other ArtCenter colleagues called Born. We ran that till 2009, ran that right when the economy was going bust, so that wasn't fun.
You want to give a shout out to some of your buddies?
What's up, Chris, Brendan, Mike, Jared, Aaron? That's everybody.
Those are all the ArtCenter guys, right?
Yeah, and then now, then I freelanced for a couple of years, and now I'm here at Blind. Yeah.
I have a question.
Oh yeah, there's a question?
We've got a bunch of questions.
Oh, okay.
And the first one was, do you feel that your classes translate outside of the American context?
Whoa, that's a heavy question.
Yeah, someone from overseas.
Do my classes, like if you're not an English speaker and if you're not familiar with American culture?
Yeah, does it relate to design work outside of the U.S.?
That's a great question. Who asked that?
His name is written in Cyrillic.
Okay.
Can I ask you?
Okay. My gut instinct is to say yes, because what I'm teaching and the principles that you learn are about visual communication, and I think that's really cool because that transcends language. Of course, you have to be sensitive to cultural context and awareness because different cultures are going to interpret things differently. What I understand is that comedy does not travel well. Luckily, I don't teach that. I'm not really that funny, so that's okay. But I have to make that assumption, and it's a broad assumption because I've not taught. Well, actually, I gave a lecture in Slovakia, and it seemed to work okay. The first lecture, they were mad at me, so I said, please give me a second chance. So my second lecture that same day, it went over much better. They weren't used to my style of teaching, which is like very in your face. How would you describe my style of teaching, Matthew?
Yeah, put you on the spot.
Put you on the spot.
He'll challenge you quite a bit, and then he'll stay silent and not help you get the answer.
That sounds terrible.
But it's like sink or swim kind of thing. So
yeah.
He'll have you present your work or present your concept, and you really have to defend it and make a strong case for that. So if you don't have that, he's not going to help you. He's just going to let you drown in class.
By the way, that question came from Nikolai Petkov, who has sent in his name in
oh, thank you, Nikolai. So I sprinkle a heavy dose of sarcasm and biting kind of sardonic comments, right? But I'm trying to change my ways. I really am. But I've actually lectured in China. I've done lectures for Japanese students who have come to America. So each one is a little different, and they need a moment to understand the teacher, and I need a moment to understand the culture. But then really quickly we'll figure it out. So I hope that answers your question. I'm sweating like a pig, so let's move out of here. Okay.
See you guys.
One other
Thanks,
question.
Matt. Oh, one other question?
The software question.
Oh, the software question. Ask Matthew the software question. He's much better.
The question was, what software do you use?
Yeah.
All of the Adobe Creative Suite. For 3D stuff, I use C40, Cinema 40. And that's pretty much it. That's for me and my wheelhouse.
Right. And for the heavy 3D work, we'll use Maya to do like the visual effects work.
Right, and then some specialized stuff here and there, like some particle programs like X particles and things of that nature. But
the same tools that you guys have access to. Imagine that.
Yeah.
The follow-up question is wearing a hat compulsory at this place of employment?
Where people are... There's only 2 people wearing hats.
Everybody
take off your hats. Who's the hat-wearing people? There's no hats.
No one wants to
Satan's
fix
wearing
their hair.
hats. Masks. Okay, all right. You know what it is? People haven't showered. They did not do their hair. That's all it is. It's about function. It's a streamlined thing. Anyways, here are more people. This is my dedicated Future team here. So we have Mark, we have Cheryl, we have Aaron. Aaron's just like the Colombian drug lord, right? Something like that. Anyways, whatever. So we're editing, we're doing promotions, whatever. We're doing all that stuff. And Cheryl's going to be driving the show on Saturday, right, Cheryl?
Yay!
Yeah. Cheryl's ArtCenter. Mark, where'd you go to school again?
UC Irvine.
UC Irvine. And Aaron, you went to Cal State Northridge. So we take people from everywhere. And your background is in computer science or something? It's computer science, and yours is in finance, which I don't believe, but yes. His background's in finance, too. All right, so let's keep going. In case, the software guy or gal, whoever wants to know that, you can look into our crazy machine room here. It's ridiculous. So, servers, it's air conditioned, right? So if you guys want to geek out on that stuff, there it is. Yeah. Just very expensive pieces of metal. Anyways, more toys. You can see that. Somebody put a new toy there, a cobra. You can see that, or a snake.
So you guys don't have your stuff on the cloud? It's all on your own server?
No, we do everything. For the size of the media files we have to keep them locally. It's just massive files. So we're editing. They're all connected to that. So that has to go really fast. But we're syncing all our files across Dropbox.
Cool.
That's not a plug, by the way.
11.5.
Anyways, come on in, guys. Let's go through here. So this is kind of the official end of the blind space. We have 2 tenants, one in the back there and one in the front. So a visual effects company and a producer. So let's keep going. I'm going to take you guys to the stage. All right. At least it's cooler out here.
Yeah.
Come on in. Here's the stage. This is where we used to shoot all the shows for the school, now the future. And you can see all sorts of stuff here. So we've got some soft boxes, LED soft boxes up here. We've got some Kino flows up on top, and just everything that you need to make content. So they must be shooting portraits or something. That's why the white seamless is up. And there's a green screen behind that. There are set pieces. It's just everything. It's kind of like, I imagine like what Roger Corman's studio looks like. It's just everything and piling on top of each other. And we're a little bit messy.
It's a toy chest.
Yeah, and so we've got a lot of cameras here. We've got a Red Dragon. We've got 4 Canon C100s. We've got a Sony FS5, a couple of Canon DSLRs. We own all the lights that we're using, so we use a variety of lights. But we have toys to help creatives tell stories. All right, so let's go back through the front then, yeah?
Yeah, I have an idea. Maybe we do our Q&A in your little padded box.
You want to do it in the padded box?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. It's nice and quiet tonight.
Yeah. Is there going to be enough light in the padded box in the Q&A?
Will there be enough room? If I sit on this side or?
Maybe
should I sit
Chris on this side?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Let's see. Will it work?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. Do you need a chair?
No.
So we're going to wrap up.
In the red room.
Yes, in the red room. And I'm going to fire questions at you. If you have no interest in the question and answering, just say pass, and then if not, say the first thing that comes to mind, okay?
Okay. I just want to say for the record, if I say pass, it's not because I don't have interest in the question, it's just because I'm stuck.
Do you have any superstitions?
No, I don't believe in superstitious thoughts.
What's a design cliche you're most tempted to use?
What do you mean design cliche?
Just something that's like overused, but it's always tempting to do it.
Is Helvetica design cliche? Because I love Helvetica.
What's the one tool you can't do without?
My mouth.
What's the first site you look at when you open your computer in the morning?
Probably YouTube. I'm dealing with comments and questions from our audience.
Where do you go online when you're taking a break?
I don't believe in taking breaks. No, I don't know. Online taking breaks? What do I do?
Mindless surfing, but you could...
Maybe Pinterest? Yeah, if I have nothing to do, and Pinterest is dangerous, so I try not to go onto Pinterest. And the reason why it's dangerous is I'll wake up and it's like 3 in the morning, like, what did I do? Where am I? What time is it? Okay?
What do you do to detox from media and screens?
Work out, hike, get outdoors, talk to people. I really enjoy talking to people now, and I've had to overcome my fear of dealing with people, and so that's helped me out a lot.
If you could trade jobs with anyone for a day, what would it be, or who would it be?
I would do it. Can it be posthumous? Like, can I
Yeah,
trade jobs with
anytime
Steve
in
Jobs?
history.
Yeah, I would trade job with Steve Jobs to kind of see what that looks like.
What book is on your bedside table?
Right now, it's The Power of Confidence, The Power of Self-Confidence.
Bye. It's okay.
I'm flaking.
All right. Who are the most interesting artists and designers working today? Whoever comes to mind in your life, you know.
The most interesting designers. I say if you were to ask me that question 10, 15 years ago, the answers would be much clearer. I don't actually spend a lot of time looking at designers' work. So if you ask me that question and I'm rewinding, I would say I really look up to Stefan Sackmeister. I think his work is really smart. I think he has a point of view, and he's very bold in terms of putting his opinions out there. But these days, I'm more influenced by philosophers, coaches, people that aren't even in our field at all.
Like
I
who?
watch a lot of TED Talks. So the whole TED library. I listen to Radiolab and This American Life.
Yeah.
I listen to the Startup podcast.
Yeah.
So that's where my mind is going today.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Describe a moment in your childhood where you first identified as an artist or designer.
Okay, that's easy for me. I think that was right around 7 years old. I didn't know this about myself, but my uncle gave me a birthday gift, and it was a pad of paper and some markers, and I was in love, and that was the best gift that anybody could have given me. And it was like $3.
That's so awesome. If you had superpowers, what would they be?
The ability to function with little sleep.
What's your most irrational fear? Or it could be a rational fear.
I'm trying to think. One of my philosophies is try to slay all your fears. So whatever you're scared of, move towards that. And so probably the greatest fear I have is actually public speaking, but I've made a lot of progress on that.
What's your prized possession? What brings you the most joy to have near you in your environment?
I think right now, and it's not going to be one possession, but my home office is pretty amazing, and I get to just design it the way I want, and now nobody gets to tell me what. So I just love sitting in my own office because my speakers, my books, everything is exactly where I want it to be. My wife isn't thrilled about it, but I have my own home office, and I love that.
So that's your man cave a little bit.
It is my man cave. It actually happens to be in our master bedroom, so that's where she's like, honey, what's it? It's like production equipment, lights, and it's just all there. I believe in kind of just optimizing everything around me to be super streamlined. So I can have an idea, turn the cameras and the lights on, and be ready to go in 5 minutes, and I could record an episode for our show.
So this is a little bit of overlap because the next question is, what is your happy place? And maybe that's it.
Yeah.
It could be somewhere else.
No, okay, I'll say like my happy place actually is when I have opportunities to travel with my family. I have 2 little boys. One is 13 and one 10, so they're not so little anymore. But when we go out and we go on an adventure, and I really mean an adventure like there's some potential danger, and those are my happiest moments. Like in the moment, you're not quite sure, but then when I reflect back on them, like we could have gotten really like hurt bad. One of which was when we were in Utah and Zion National Park, and my son was much younger then, and we hiked up to this one point where like don't go there, and a lot of people turned back, and we just went up there, and I was thinking if he slipped, if he didn't hang on to the rope or whatever it was, that would be the end of my son, and I wouldn't even know what to do. And one son was too scared to go, so he turned around, so my wife stayed with him. But we have all these pictures, and I shot a couple of videos, and we just have that moment to share and just to know that, yeah, it was pretty stupid, but we did it, and it was cool, and we're all still alive. So a lot of it is just kind of overcoming sometimes rational and irrational fear.
Yeah,
it was pretty awesome.
Yeah.
And there's other times we could have drowned, and there's just stupid stuff, but we're all still alive today.
Right, now you have stories.
Yes, and I cherish those moments. It's the misadventures in life, I think, that stick out.
Totally. How would your closest friend describe you?
Probably as like unbending, like not willing to make compromise, stubborn, probably, and maybe a little arrogant.
How about on the positive side?
Oh, those are my positive features. What are you talking about? Maybe giving.
All right, and we'll close with what's your best piece of advice for an ArtCenter student who's interested in what you're doing or pursuing a similar path?
Okay, and I'm gonna have to pick one, huh? Okay, so this is gonna be a little bit complicated, and I'll try to do it in a way that will make sense to you. If you're a creative person, I think you have to shift your mindset from being a maker-creator to being an author-content person. Okay, so we got to stop thinking about how to work for people. We have to think about how to create jobs for ourselves, create our own economy, whatever it is. This is the future. I talked to a young man, a very bright guy, speaks multiple languages, and he was just telling me that there's going to be massive unemployment in like 20 to 30 years because all this like labor work is going to go away because the world's being eaten by software and robots. So you have to kind of be in a space where you're thinking and you're a creative person and you're in that space. So as a creative person, it's easy to say, oh, I'm automatically there because of the class that I'm in. But if you're in that class where you're actually making things for other people, then you're in the making class, and we got to shift over here. And I really, sometimes I say this and people get really upset at me because they're happy doing what they do. And if that is what you do and that makes you really happy and that's the reason why you exist, totally cool. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that if you have a choice, you need to be thinking about how to make content. And I'm proving it myself. I'm not just telling you some theory, I read in a book, or I'm regurgitating something. We're actually making a really big shift here at Blind. So we are a service company, but I think in 1 or 2 years, that part will just be like not even a thing anymore. The lines are blurring. The content we create becomes power to build an audience, and people want our audience. That's all I got.
Brilliant. That's it. Thank you.
Thanks, guys. All right. See you guys around.